Waking up exhausted after 8 hours of sleep, the problem isn't how much you're sleeping, it's when you're waking up. Master the 90-minute rule and you'll feel more alert on 6 hours than most people do on 9. Method #3 will completely change how you think about alarm clocks. You know that feeling when your alarm goes off and you feel like you've been hit by a truck? That brain fog that takes an entire coffee pot to clear? That's called sleep inertia, and it's not normal. Your body moves through predictable 90-minute cycles every single night, 4 to 6 complete cycles on average. When you interrupt these cycles at the wrong moment, you're literally forcing your brain awake from its deepest recovery state. The result? You stumble through your morning feeling worse than if you'd slept less. But here's the thing. Once you understand how these cycles work, you can hack them. Step 1. Calculate backwards from your wake time. Most people do this completely wrong. Emphasize. They decide they need 8 hours of sleep, so they go to bed 8 hours before their alarm. That's not how human biology works. Your sleep moves in 90 to 110-minute cycles. Each cycle takes you through 4 distinct stages: light sleep, deeper sleep, deep restorative sleep, and finally REM, where you dream. Here's what matters. Waking up at the end of a cycle during light sleep or REM makes you feel refreshed. Waking up in the middle of a cycle, especially during deep sleep, triggers intense grogginess that can last 30 to 60 minutes. The easy win? Do the math. If you need to wake up at 6 a.m., don't aim for exactly 8 hours. Instead, count backwards in 90-minute intervals. That gives you optimal sleep times of 10:30 p.m. or midnight. You'll feel dramatically better waking after 5 complete cycles than after 8.5 hours. That cuts a cycle in half. Start tracking this tonight. Pick a wake time, subtract 90-minute blocks, and commit to one of those bedtimes for 3 days straight. The difference will shock you. Step 2. The core secret: time your deepest sleep. Now here's what most sleep advice gets wrong. They tell you deep sleep is the most important stage. That's true for recovery. Your body repairs tissue, builds muscle, and strengthens immunity during stage 3 deep sleep. But deep sleep is also the worst stage to wake from. Research shows that waking from slow wave deep sleep produces the most severe sleep inertia compared to waking from stage 1, stage 2, or REM. Your brain is running on delta waves, the slowest frequency. Pulling yourself out of that state is like yanking an engine from idle straight into 5th gear. Here's the biohack. Deep sleep dominates your first cycles of the night. As the night progresses, your cycles shift. You spend less time in deep sleep and more time in REM. By your final cycles before morning, you're naturally spending more time in lighter stages that are easier to wake from. This is why sleeping exactly 4.5 hours or 6 hours can feel better than 7 or 8 hours. You're catching your body during a natural transition point instead of ripping it out of delta wave recovery mode. The science backs this. Complete cycles matter more than total hours when it comes to how you feel upon waking. But wait, there's more to this. Step 3. Use smart alarms, not brutal interruptions. This is where conventional alarm clocks sabotage you. A traditional alarm doesn't care about your biology. It screams at the exact same minute every day, regardless of which sleep stage you're in. Smart alarm technology changed everything. Apps like Sleep Cycle use your phone's sensors to detect movement patterns. They identify when you're in lighter sleep versus deep sleep, then wake you within a 10 to 30 minute window at the optimal moment. Users report waking up feeling refreshed instead of disoriented. The contrarian insight: a smart alarm that wakes you at 5:50 a.m. during light sleep will make you feel better than a regular alarm at 6 a.m. that catches you in deep sleep. You're essentially outsourcing the guesswork to technology that monitors your actual sleep architecture in real time. This differentiates people who understand sleep optimization from those who just set arbitrary wake times and suffer through the consequences. Step 4. Manage sleep pressure with strategic caffeine timing. Here's where it gets interesting. Even if you nail your 90-minute cycles, you can still feel groggy if you mismanage adenosine. Adenosine is a neurochemical that builds up in your brain throughout the day, creating sleep pressure. Sleep clears adenosine out. But here's the problem. If you chug coffee the second you wake up, You're blocking adenosine receptors before your natural cortisol awakening response kicks in. Your body has a built-in alertness system. Cortisol naturally peaks 30 to 60 minutes after you wake up. When you drink caffeine immediately, you override this natural surge. Then, later in the day, when that caffeine wears off, the masked sleep pressure rebounds hard and you crash. The biohack: delay your first coffee 60 to 90 minutes after waking. Let your natural alertness systems activate first. Use caffeine as a booster, not a replacement. This keeps your energy steadier throughout the afternoon and prevents the need for late-day caffeine that wrecks your next night's sleep depth. Research confirms that afternoon caffeine delays your internal clock similarly to bright light exposure at bedtime, which reduces sleep quality and creates another groggy morning. Keep caffeine to the first half of your day, and you break the cycle. This is crucial. Your body runs on a master biological clock called the circadian rhythm. This internal system controls when you feel alert and when you feel sleepy. It's incredibly powerful, but it needs consistency to function optimally. When you wake at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, then sleep until 10 a.m. on Saturday, you're essentially giving yourself jet lag. Your suprachiasmatic nucleus, the brain region that orchestrates your sleep-wake cycle, gets confused. Come Monday morning, you feel destroyed because your clock shifted. The optimization move? Wake at the same time every single day, including weekends. Yes, even if you stayed up late. If you're exhausted, take a 20-minute power nap in the early afternoon instead of sleeping in. This preserves your circadian alignment and prevents that Sunday night insomnia followed by Monday morning torture. Studies show that consistent wake times improve next morning alertness more than inconsistent schedules, with more total sleep. Your body prioritizes predictability. Give it that, and it rewards you with easier mornings and better performance. Pay attention to this part. The combination of consistent wake times and 90-minute cycle planning creates a compounding effect. You're aligning both your ultradian rhythms and your circadian rhythms. That's when you unlock truly effortless mornings. Before we wrap up, there's one mistake that ruins all this progress: avoiding light exposure in the morning. Your circadian clock synchronizes primarily through light. If you nail your 90-minute cycles and wake at a consistent time, but then stumble around in the dark for an hour, you're missing the signal that tells your brain it's daytime. Be alert. Get bright light, ideally natural sunlight, within 15 minutes of waking. This suppresses residual melatonin and triggers cortisol release. It's the difference between feeling awake in 10 minutes versus 60 minutes. Combined with proper cycle timing, this amplifies everything. The 90-minute rule works because you're respecting your biology instead of fighting it. Calculate backwards in 90-minute blocks, use smart alarms to wake during light sleep, delay that first coffee, stay consistent with your wake time, and get morning light. Now that you've optimized when you wake up, the next step is optimizing what you do in the first hour after waking to maximize cognitive performance and energy. That's exactly what we cover in the next video on the morning routine protocol used by peak performers. Watch it next to complete your transformation.